welcome to another Muscoot Farm video. Today we're going to do one of our favorite crafts from camp, and that is making rainbow crayons. Woo! So the fun part about this is that everyone is kind of different and you get to be a little creative with how it comes out. So what you will need is a muffin tin, or you can use a silicone mold as long as it's oven safe. Crayons, and if they're all broken, that's even better. And a scrap piece of paper. And you may also want to use cupcake liners for your muffin tin. These silicone molds don't need them as much, but you still could use them to protect your pan, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is pick a bunch of crayons, and what you have to do is break them up and unwrap them. This is kind of the fun part because usually we don't want to break crayons, but today we get to. And for your crayon, you're going to want to have lots of different colors to make your rainbow crayon have this, multicolor effect when you go to use it, like that. So make sure you get a variety of colors and break them up into small pieces while also taking off all the wrapping. Maybe you could unwrap them first and then do all the breaking. So while you're busy unwrapping all of those crayons and breaking them up, this is a good time to ask your grown-up to preheat the oven, and it's going to go to 250, pretty low. We just want it warm enough to melt our crayons, and you'll see how it looks when we finish. The other thing I'm going to do, just to protect the oven in case any wax gets spilled while we're moving the tray, we're going to lay a piece of tin foil on the bottom rack, and then we're going to be placing our crayon pan on the top rack. All right, let's keep unwrapping those crayons. All right, so now that we've gotten a bunch of crayons unwrapped and broken up, and when you're breaking them up, they can be any size, big, small, a bunch of different sizes. And the reason I had this scrap paper was to make sure that I was getting a good variety, because sometimes the crayons all look the same. So I used the paper to kind of test out, oh, do I have all purples? Do I have, oh, yes I do. Do I have some blues to work with and mix them all in? Gosh, I keep picking purple. All right, so now I know, okay, I may want to separate the purples and mix them together. And now we're going to go over to our pan, which we've lined with, I have these paper cups, but you can use cupcake liners. I would actually do 2 liners in each cup because the wax is very heavy and you want to protect your pan and not let anything leak through. With the silicone molds, you can do it without a liner. Those should be fine. Okay, so you can put these together in your cups any way you like. You can do a couple different methods. I'm gonna do one where I just randomly put a bunch of colors in to one. And then in this one, I think I'm gonna go for like a green, yellow-green crayon. So I'll mix up different shades of greens and yellows. I think that would kind of be cool. And you want to fill it no more than halfway. It could be one, as long as it's a layer that's covering the bottom, that's fine. And it could go a little higher, but no more than halfway would be fine. Okay, so there's my green, yellow-green style. And then over here, I'm going to see if I can get a little creative and do a true rainbow pattern. So, let's see, red, orange, yellow, some greens, and then we need blue and purple. I know I have tons of purple. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. Just remember that you want to fill about 1 full layer. Oh, pink would be good in there too. Okay, so that kind of looks how I want it to look. All right, so now we're going to get ready to bring it over to the oven. Come with me. All right, so very carefully, we're going to put this pan in the oven. And we're going to set a timer for about 10 minutes, but every oven is different. So I would recommend checking it right around 8 minutes. What we want to see is the crayons just start to melt and blend together. We don't want to do it too long. We don't want to cook them too long because then they'll start to completely melt and the colors will mix together and you'll just get a muddy looking crayon. All right, so we'll check back in a couple minutes. All right, so it's been 8 minutes. I'm going to check our crayons carefully with a pot holder. Now let's see what they're looking like. Okay, so you can see some of the colors are starting to melt, and that's great. They do still look pretty separate from each other, so I'm going to put them in for a little bit longer. Ooh, that rainbow one is looking cool. So when you bring them out, do it very gently and carefully because if it gets unsteady, the colors will run together. So we'll check back in another 2 minutes. I'm also going to rotate the pan because it looks like some of them are getting hotter than others in this oven. We'll check back in another minute. Okay, so it's been a few more minutes and I'm going to check now to see where we're at. Very carefully we take the pan out because if any of the wax, the melted wax spills, it's going to burn in your oven and smell bad and maybe set off the smoke alarm, so we don't want that. Okay, so let's see. I think we're at a point where we can take them out. You'll see that the rainbow one looks like it's finally completely melted and I don't want it to start mixing together and getting kind of all one color. And then while these two, I think I filled them more, they had more crayon pieces in them, so they're still a little lumpy, but that's okay, you can still use them. Maybe what this is telling us is that we want all of our cups to be filled about the same amount, and that way they will cook at the same rate. But anyway, I think we're good. We're going to turn off the oven, and we're going to let these sit and cool for, I would say, several hours. It depends probably on the conditions, but you'll just have to check and when they look dry and when it doesn't look like it's liquid anymore, when it looks like it's fully solid, then it'll be time to take them out and use them. All right, so we let our brand new crayons sit for about a half an hour. We put them out on the porch actually to get some extra air, and they look like they are solid now. So we're going to pop them out of the liners gently, carefully. Awesome. That's my green one. Ooh. Some of you might have more shades of colors at your house. All right, this is the rainbow one I was really excited about. Let's see how it looks. Cool. So you can turn it to do the different colors that you want. You could even, break it and use a different edge. Let's see about this one. This one looks cool. That's awesome. Let's see. Pink, green, all kinds of colors. So that is how you make rainbow crayons. If you have different shapes of tins, like molds that are smaller, maybe you use them for, like chocolate or things like that, you can get different shapes of crayons or different kinds of ice cube trays that would be safe in the oven. If not, definitely check with a grown-up. And you could maybe even do this in the microwave. Just do it for shorter bursts of time and check them every few seconds. All right, so that's how you make rainbow crayons. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.